Okay, welcome to your first task as part of Btec ICT Level 2. Right, you're going to have to produce something for an audience. The aim of this task is to convey some technical knowledge to an audience that has no technical knowledge. So you're going to have to make something that could be quite complex relatively easy. So, your audience is here and your title is Welcome to your guide to creating an online account for the internet communication through a web-based POP3 service. Right, is that the best choice of a title for an audience that doesn't really have a great technical knowledge? What do you think? Okay, so if it's not a good title, then we need something much more simplified, something really clear and easy to understand so that they know exactly what it is that they are going to be doing. Like, here's how to set up an email account. There we go. They know exactly what they're going to do and they're happy about it. So, what have you got to do? Well, here's your audience. Somebody who has very little technical knowledge and has never set up an email account. But they want to be able to email friends and family and send photographs around the world. So they need to know the very basics. How do they set up an email account? So, you've got a choice. Do we stand in front of them in the shirt and tie and give them a full-blown presentation, stage by stage, line by line, slide by slide, effectively telling them exactly what to do, step by step, and then tell them to go home and get on with it? Well, that's probably not a good idea, because if we bombard them with all that information, they're just going to want to vanish. So what do? Well, we take into account the fact that they probably like to learn from graphics and a little bit of text. So they might be a visual learner and they might be a verbal learner. So you're going to give them something that contains both to allow them to go away and create the account themselves. They're going to fall in love with email and send all sorts of messages all around the world. Okay, so your user's going to have a set list of things that they're going to require, things that they will need to make sure that they can set up their email account. So, if you create a leaflet for them, they're going to need a few things. It's going to need to include small, simple instructions. Remember, they don't have a great deal of technical knowledge. It can't use technical language. It needs to include images to help explain the stages. It shouldn't include too many images, because then it would look too full and too busy, and that might actually put them off. It must be in colour, so that it's appealing to somebody who might be, a little bit unsure as to what to do. And the fonts that you used must be professional and easily to read. So, what we want to do is give our user control of her own world. We want to give her something that will allow her to set up her own email account all by herself. So we're going to create a bright and colourful leaflet that takes into account all of her user needs. So, what are the stages that you're going to have to go through in order to get the best grades in your Btec for creating your leaflet and communicating with this user? Well, first thing you're going to do is design it on paper so that we can get an idea of where you're going to use images, where you're going to put text, what kind of colours you're going to use, and generally what the leaflet might look like. Then you're going to go on the computer and create the leaflet using Microsoft Publisher. Then you're going to print it out back to back so that it looks exactly like a full-blown professional leaflet. At the end, you're going to evaluate it, and we're going to decide what you could have improved, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you really like about what you've done. You're going to have 3 lessons to cover the first 3 points, to go from creating a design on paper all the way to printing it out. 3 lessons. You will not get any longer than that. So if it's up to you, you need to choose to give some time up on maybe lunchtimes or after school to make sure that you meet the deadline. I'm also going to suggest that you use Google Mail as your example, because you could set up a new Google Mail account through this lesson that you could use for some other work later on, but you can also take screenshots step by step so that we can see how we create the account and you can use those in your leaflet. Okay? Right. Good luck. This will go towards your final grade, so give it your best. Make it the best piece of work you produce. Give us a really good impression of how you're going to be on the rest of the Btec course. Good luck.